I'm Chris Albrecht with The Spoon, and I'm here at the Food IT Tech Conference presented by the Mixing Bowl here in San Francisco, and I'm with Mr. Tim Scott. He is the co-founder and director of operations for Bottlefly. Tell us, what does Bottlefly do?
So we do wine and food recommendations for shoppers at grocery stores and wine retailers. And
No, well, so say a bit more, because, one thing I'm inundated with online is ads telling me about ways that I can better discover wine. So how are you different from a lot of those other services out there?
so a lot of other services use different kind of filtering algorithms to try to suggest wine to people. A lot of them are collaborative filtering that rely on other people, but who knows if that other person is the same way you are. So what we do is we actually analyze wine, and we know the chemistry of wine, we know the way the wine tastes. And so then we ask you about foods and smells that you already know you like or dislike that have nothing to do with wine, and give you recommendations at the grocery store.
Okay, so when you say you're analyzing the chemistry of the wine, walk me through a little bit. Are you doing like light scattering imaging, or are you like just breaking it down to its basic molecules? Okay, tell me what that is.
So gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. I'm not really a chemist, but
no, that's fine. But that's
it's basically we're looking at the aromatics of it, and we break those into its components so we know what chemicals are in the wine.
Okay, so for a consumer who is using your service, now are you in beta right now, or what stage are you
We're
in?
in 7 locations. We're in 2 Lucky Brand stores. We're in a couple IGA stores.
Okay.
And Gelson's, and we'll be expanding to over 40 locations with these stores by the end of the year.
Okay.
We're going to be starting a 10-store pilot with a national convenience store chain. We're also going to be powering a third-party customer engagement platform, and we're also pursuing deals with online wine retailers.
Okay, so you're in the market right now.
Yes.
And so for the consumer, I tried this a little bit earlier, but it's kind of neat because you walk up, and the idea being that you are providing these recommendations when people are making purchases, right? So you set up a tablet in the store, and people walk through a series of questions, right?
Correct.
And so, some of the things like you said, it's like, do you like this particular smell? Are you in the mood for black pepper, or do you like the smell of leather, or some really questions that you wouldn't necessarily associate with wine tasting?
Now, realistically, they are. These are all things that a wine steward would do. The stores that we're in, they have had wine stewards, and that's what the questions they walk them through.
Okay, yeah, I guess whenever I've talked to the wine steward, they're like, "Do you like your wine round, or do you like your wine, tannins or whatever?" Right? But this was really, it emphasized the smells a lot, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes.
And then was able to. How many wines are in your database?
Oh man, we service location, so it's location to location.
Okay.
So it's specific to the store they're at. So,
but you probably have like a massive database.
Correct.
That is, and then you would just narrow it down based on the SKUs that whatever that store is offering, right?
Correct.
Right. So how big is how many wines? Let's say you walked into, like, you had the ultimate wine juggernaut store, right? That had everything. How many wines do you have in your massive database right now?
A few thousand.
Okay. So a few thousand, and are they around the world?
Wines change vintage to vintage.
Yes. Okay. And so, do you get that specific for people? Since they're in the convenience store, you'd have to go.
We try to.
Okay. So you can get a 2016 A to Z Willamette Pinot Noir or whatever. And where are your wines global? Your wine choices global, or are you focusing in as you're rolling out? Is there a particular area you're focusing in on?
As the retailers have new wines, we have those in.
Right. Okay. And then so as you go to, so that's interesting because you are. How dependent are you on what the whims of the buyer at the grocery store?
It's whatever they have in stock. We're not going to be recommending wines that they don't have in stock.
No, I understand it, but I guess that means as you try to scale up your business, right? So you are going into stores and saying, okay, these are the wines that they have. So I assume that you have to be able to break those wines down. So what's kind of the turnaround time for that? Do you understand what I'm saying? So
in terms of lab throughput?
Right, so that you can do that. So what's the turnaround time before you enter an agreement with the store to where you can make those things available?
Generally fairly quickly, because 80% of all grocery store wine is the same across grocery stores.
Okay.
So it's very common for most of the wine to already be done, and then we get the edge case wines.
And what
very quickly.
What are you finding in terms of people who have been using the service? What have you learned?
People really like it.
Okay.
Because it's very simple. It's very straightforward, and especially with millennials in that they don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
They just want to walk up and they use it, and then boom.
Yeah.
They got the recommendation.
Okay. And do you plug? I guess how do people learn about it? So, is there? I guess how are you marketing this right now? So you're like, I understand being in store and being able to use it there, but are you driving people to certain stores, or is there a way to drive people saying like, hey, here's a place where you can get your wine recommendations really easy and you don't have to talk to somebody?
We really want to pursue marketing more, especially as we start expanding. We brought on a CMO, and she's going to take over the marketing efforts and really pushing that for us.
Okay. And then talk to me just about personally, like how do you I mean, did you discover anything new from using the service? Did you discover a new kind of wine? You're like, oh, this is really fantastic, or
I like really delicate Pinot Noir and dark, gloomy Syrah.
Okay. And then are you going to be doing any sort of partnerships? There's a lot of wine-based products that are coming onto the market. I think about there's a connected aerator coming out of France that will tell you, look at what kind of wine you like and then aerate it properly. So it seems like there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of stuff happening in the wine recommendation space right now, and lots of opportunity, I guess, to partner with people. How are you making your money?
We charge a monthly subscription fee to the wine retailer.
Okay.
And we provide all the hardware, software, and support for that. Any new wines come in, we analyze it. We give back business analytics reports about what their wine consumers are buying, what their flavor profiles for their store is. We ensure that their wine selection is a good fit for their user base. Increase in sales, lift in margin.
Awesome. So you have a lot of data play. A large data play that's going to happen for there. You can kind of aggregate all that information and, like you said, sell it back to stores so they can buy accordingly. Like, oh, this is really taking off. People like this, seasonal, whatever, right?
Yeah, correct. Plus, we also give food recommendations. So Wine Aisle is the best place to upsell customers.
Yeah.
Because when they purchase wine, they buy on average 37% more.
Okay.
Because they're buying the pairing products, and that's not including the bottle of wine.
Okay.
And so we want to pair, you're getting this wine, buy this meat, cheese, salami, crackers to go along with it.
Gotcha. So I answer all the questions. It says, hey, we think you'll really like this particular type of wine. And oh, by the way, you should get this cheese. And then you're even looking at pointing people to where they can get it in the store, right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
So that's still a work in progress, but we do offer the products that are actually at that location. But we also want to get into this cheese is on this aisle, or this wine is located here. We want to work with LED light strips, and so light up where in the aisle the wine actually is.
Yes.
So that's a work in progress. It's a lot of it's built around what the store data has and what they can offer us.
Interesting. Because it seems like you'd also do like some kind of AR thing where your phone guides you to where you need to go.
That would be fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. It's Bottlefly. Where can people find it online?
www.thebottlefly.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.